Hello, everybody. Uh, Sorry that my my hair looks kind of funny. I recently cut my hair, so you won't see any long hair anymore until it goes back. It looks kind of fluffy, but whatever. I think it kind of fits. But anyways, I'm gonna be talking about Dream Theater, and since some of you know, I consider Dream Theater as my favorite band. And they're very unique, and it's kind of sad that they're not that very popular. Like they're kind of underrated. I mean, that they have their hits, but other than that, they're not really popular. I mean, I just don't know why. I mean, they're just one of the greatest prog bands out there. And so So the reason I wanted to make this video, I kind of want to introduce, Dream Theater to people who never heard of them, because, like I said, they're not that popular. And pretty sure of them but the majority of my viewers probably never heard of Dream Theater. I mean, they probably heard of them, but never listened to their music. And, I just wanted to make a video to, introduce Dream Theater to new fans. Kind of spread the word here. And I chose one song from every album. Just introduced in chronological order. So. And if I remember, I'll put links to the songs I mentioned in the video in the description if you want to listen to them. So yeah. So from the first album to the latest, one song each album. So from the first album, When Dream and Day Unite, I recently, a couple months ago, I've linked all of their albums. I put this album at last place. It's not a bad album, but even I said in that video, it just doesn't really sound much like Dream Theater. I mean, but once again, like I said, it is the first album, and not all the first albums are perfect, so that's bad. Still, it's my least favorite Dream Theater album to this day. Might change, but whatever. But anyways, When Dream and Day Unite, overall, I still think it's a pretty good album. And so the song I've chosen is Yitzy Jam. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I'm not sure. But I think that's how you pronounce it. Yitzy Jam. I don't know. It's Majesty backwards. Fun fact, by the way. Before they were named Dream Theater, their name was Majesty. But there was already another band named Majesty, so they decided to change it to Dream Theater. I don't know where the inspiration for Dream Theater came, though. But yeah, the song I've chosen is Yitzy Jam, also known as Majesty backwards. Like I said, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it or not, and it's an instrumental. I chose this because, I don't think anyone would like, Charlie Dominici, I don't know. His vocals, this was before they had James LaBrie. He doesn't really sound all that great. I mean, he's a decent singer, but I don't think, anyone would like his vocals at first, so I just chose an instrumental instead. And yeah, what a great instrumental. It really does show, probably the early example of their progness, and, what would become of their later albums. Yeah, it's definitely a hint of what the later albums would sound like, and yeah, I think it's a great instrumental. It's a whole lot of fun, and I really love the guitar work on it. John Petrucci, his guitar playing is just, it's really, really beautiful. I really love, it's like, and this is similar to another song that's coming up I'll mention, like, this is pretty much, like, in the middle of the song, there's a solo for each band member, minus the vocalist. The John Petrucci, the guitar player, he gets a little solo, And then John Young, the bass player, he gets a little solo. And then Mike Portnoy, the drummer at the time, he gets a solo. And then Kevin Moore, the keyboardist at the time, he gets a solo. And like I said, it's a very unique instrumental. I really, really love it. Alright. The next album, Images and Words, the song I've chosen off from that album is Metropolis Part 1, The Miracle and the Sleeper. I mean, now I know a lot of people would say, oh, Pull Me Under. I decided not to choose Pull Me Under. Well, because, I mean, it's a popular hit. I don't really want to choose popular hits as the first thing to introduce people. To introduce a band to people. I mean, Pull Me Under is a great song, but it is one of those songs where, I've heard it multiple times, don't really need to hear it again. It's still a great song, but I'm not choosing that. I'm not choosing Learning to Live either, even though that's my favorite song on the album. But I think Metropolis, and even James Capri himself, I believe in an interview, he said Metropolis Part 1 would be the song he would choose to introduce people to Dream Theater. So, and again, this is just like Yitzy Jam. Every band member besides the vocalist has a solo, and of course, Part 1, this is Part 1 of Metropolis. Part 2 is a full album. Yeah, a full album. By the way, Part 1 was added by John Petrucci as a joke. He didn't intend any sequel, but this song was so good that fans wanted more. They wanted Part 2. And instead of making Part 2 as a song, they decided to make a full album, which I'll get to in a minute. Off of their third album, Awake. And, this is just as... I linked it a little lower in the list when I linked the albums. It's one of the best albums. By far, one of the best albums they ever made. But Images Words, that album is slightly better. But Awake is just as good as well. There's a lot of good songs on this album. 6 O'Clock, Scarred, Lifting Shadows Off a Dream, and then A Mind Beside Itself, Erotomania, Voices, and The Silent Man. A lot of good songs on this album. But the song I've chosen is Space Divest. This song, oh my goodness. Now, a lot of people would, again, choose Scarred, and, well, it's not my favorite song on the album. Space Divested, that's the reason why I chose it. But Scarred's probably my second favorite. Plus, I am choosing epics, a lot of epics for this list, but I don't think Scarred would be the first epic to introduce. So I just, chose one of the shorter songs on the album, Space Divest. Yeah, you think that song title is kind of funny, well, but the song itself is not. This song is very serious, and Kevin Moore, this is one of the few songs where it's just, for the most part, it's just keyboard and vocals, but the full band later on in the song gets together, but it's mostly just keyboard and vocals, and Kevin Moore, and this is Awake is the last album to feature Kevin Moore. He just decided to, to quit the band. He was getting stressed, I think. I think it was because of stress or something. I'm not entirely sure, but Space Divest. This is the last song on the last album to feature him. And a lot of fans, and including myself, have said that this is Kevin Moore's swan song. And I agree. I definitely agree. This is definitely his swan song. And even if they, didn't attend it, because he actually, wanted to leave the band for quite some time, but he just didn't tell the band members that until the recording of this album was over. You get some facts about the albums too, not just songs. But anyways, Space Divest. And James Capri's vocals, I know a lot of people, don't really like his vocals a lot, but I do. And this song is proof that in the 90s, he was in his prime when he was singing. He had a beautiful, beautiful voice when in Dream Theater's early albums. This song's just amazing. And once again, if I remember, I'll put the links to the songs in the description below. And yeah, please, if you want to listen to the songs, I mean, go for it. Go for it. I mean, no one's stopping you. Go for it. If you want to listen to some Dream Theater. Yeah, Awake, I've chosen Space Divest, and it's, like I said, it's a very beautiful song. And a very beautiful way to end the album as well. Falling into Infinity. This is one of Dream Theater's most divisive albums, and even I, in my Lincoln video, kind of, I included it not at the bottom of the list, but it's down there. And I still think it's a pretty good album. But it's definitely not the best. But I still think it's worth a listen. I mean, yeah, it's a lot more radio friendly than the previous 3 albums. But the song I've chosen is Trial of Tears, another closer of an album, an epic closer of an album. This is the first song on the list to go 10 plus minutes. This is like 13 and a half, I believe. Yeah, this song it's great, and like I said, this album is a lot more radio friendly than the previous ones. But even in a radio friendly album, Dream Theater can still kick butt with the 13-minute epic. I mean, this song is very, in my opinion, like one of the best songs they ever did. That's why I chose it. And the lyrics too. The lyrics are written by John Young, the bass player, and he, along with the vocalist James LaBrie, don't write that many lyrics. And so it's nice to see, a writer who doesn't write a whole lot of songs, get his time to shine. And this, in my opinion, has to be the best song that he ever wrote for Dream Theater. It's that good. So I hope you check it out in the description. So, Metropolis Part 2, the full album, like I said, Metropolis Part 2, Scenes from a Memory. Now, a lot of people consider this the best Dream Theater album, but I consider this the second best. There's a certain album I think is just a tiny little bit better. But man, Metropolis Part 2, Scenes from a Memory, that's another great album. It's a concept album about this guy named Nicholas, and he's going for hypnosis, and while he's in hypnosis, he's seeing this woman named Victoria, and then Victoria gets suddenly murdered, and I don't want to spoil too much, so that's all I'm going to tell you. You just have to listen to the album for yourself to get the whole concept. And there's a lot of good songs on this album, but the song I've chosen is, even though it's not my favorite song on the album, it's still a really good song. The song I've chosen is Home. Yes, Home. Once again, another epic. And it lasts for like about 12 minutes, 12 and a half minutes, almost 13. And, man, Home, like I said, it's not my favorite song on the album, but this song is a banger. I have to say it. I'm sorry. I have to say it. It's a banger, man. It's a banger. I mean, you just have to listen to yourself. This song has to be heard to be believed. I mean, just listen to it, man. Just listen to it. You're in for a special treat. Yeah, you're in for a special treat, man. Home. It's my second favorite song on the album. My favorite is the album closer, Finally Free. I didn't want to choose that because it kind of spoils the end of the story. I didn't really want to spoil the whole thing for you, so. But Home, yeah, please listen to it. You're in for a special treat. It's just. And then, for 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence, ironically the 6th album. song I have chosen, and once again, another great album. And this is a double album too. And disc 2, the second disc, is pretty much only one song. It's like a whole 42-minute song. I mean, when you go on streaming services like Spotify and stuff like that, it's separated. But it's still basically pretty much one song. But and like since in streaming services like Spotify, it's separated, I didn't want to choose any of that. So I decided to go with the album opener, The Glass Prison, the first song written by Mike Portnoy, which is, well, it's not the first song he written, but the first song he written in this series of songs that he wrote called The 12-Step Suite. And basically, this suite is those 5 songs. Basically, those 5 songs are about, his recovery for alcoholism. That's pretty much what the 12-Step Suite was. This guy named Bill Withers, I believe it was, he made that. Alcoholics Anonymous is what it's also called. And yeah, it's a pretty good song. This might be in my opinion, the best song out of the 12-Step Suite. Once again, just like Home, you have to hear it. I mean, no words at all. You have to hear it. You have to hear how amazing the song is. It's one of the best songs of all time, period. If you don't like it, sure, that's fine, but yeah. The next album, Train of Thought. This album is such a heavy album, and Dream Theater, they're mostly progressive rock, but sometimes progressive metal too, but I think this album, Train of Thought, I think this is where Dream Theater got the heaviest at. I mean, you can listen to the whole album if you want to, but the song I have chosen is In the Name of God, the album closer, and it is really, really, really heavy. I mean, it starts all slow with that clean riff, then suddenly and it just kicks you right in the face, like immediately. That solo, this solo in the song in the middle section, it's John Petrucci. He's soloing. And he even does a duel with Jordan Rudess, but now the current keyboardist. This duel, once again, you just have to hear it. You have to hear it to believe it. I mean, it's awesome. And one thing about it is, it's not only is it heavy, it's also sometimes slow. I mean, mid-tempo. Like, after the solos end, we get back to that heavy riff from the beginning, and then we go back to the chorus, which is the mid-tempo section. And at the very end, the guitars, any other instruments fade out, and it's just the piano. And this has to be like the most heaviest song. I mean, once again, you just have to hear it to believe it. It's awesome. I love it. The second best song, in my opinion. Yeah, the second best song. That's how good it is. That's how good it is. Alright. This next album, Octavarium. Now, this is the album that I call the best album of all time. In my opinion. May not be to you, of course, but Octavarium. My favorite Dream Theater album. And the best album of all time, in my opinion. But the song I've chosen, and I'm pretty sure any other band would choose this song too, if they were introducing this band to a new fan. The title track, the closing title track, which runs about 24 minutes, and not including that 42-minute song. This is probably like the longest song. I mean, longest song. And every single second of it is worth it. And this is my favorite song, guys. This is my favorite Dream Theater song. It's, I keep saying this, but I'm probably gonna repeat it throughout the rest of the video, but you have to hear it to believe. I'm sorry I'm repeating it too much, but seriously, Octavilium, you have to listen to it all the way through. I mean, man, Octavilium, the title track, and wow. And the thing about it is, here's the clever thing. Now, this album's not a concept album, but there is a recurring theme. A recurring theme of this album is apparently numbers. Yeah, 5 and 8 are pretty much the theme around this album. But every song, go to the first song, The Root of All Evil. It's that F, F key. And then the next song is G. Next song, A, B, C, D, A. And then when you get to Octavilium, it's F again. And another clever thing, like during the root, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh octave, but in that section, in the middle section, if you listen closely, you can actually hear snippets of the other songs on the album. And that's before when James yells out, "Trapped inside this Octavilium!" And that is the best moment of any song, in my opinion. That's how great the song is. I mean, just please listen to it. It's and one more thing about the song before I continue on. This song ends the same way the album starts. I mean, even the last line of the song says the story ends where it began. Yeah, it does end where it began. It ends on like a very low piano note. The album starts with that same note. What a clever way to end an album. I mean, and not to mention, it loops. I mean, it's just like, Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, and The Wall, which this album's definitely, was inspired by those two albums. You can definitely hear the Pink Floyd influences throughout. They even mention, Careful with That Ass Eugene in, one of the lyrics. Let's see. Yeah, enough rambling about Octavilium. Let's move on to Systematic Chaos. This album, it's probably one of the weakest albums in my opinion, and even, once again, in my Lincoln video, I put it pretty low, but it's still, like I said, a very good album. Now, this album, this also does a bookend, just like Octavilium. It doesn't start and end with the same thing, but it does start and end with, well, not the same song, but it's pretty much, part 1 and part 2. It starts part 1 of one song and ends with part 2 of that same song. And that is the song. That is the song I've chosen. In the Presence of Enemies, parts 1 and 2. Yeah, that's basically 2 songs. But thankfully, I did find a video where it has those 2 parts together. So you can listen to it in one sitting. How cool is that? Yeah, that's the version I will link in the description, where it has those 2 parts, together. I think part 2 is the better part, but part 1 is still good. And even when it's together, when those 2 parts are together, it's still a very awesome listen. I mean, alright, Black Clouds and Silver Linings, the final album to include Mike Portnoy as the drummer. He pretty much, left for like the same reason as Kevin Moore did, stress and all that. But he did, want to take a break from the band a little bit. But then he, for some reason, decided he wanted to quit permanently. He is still active with the band members. They even have a spin-off band called Liquid Tension Experiment. And yeah, he's still friends with them. He just doesn't want to be in the band anymore. He's still active. So. Black Clouds and Silver Linings. This album is, again, a very good album. Just perfect all the way through. I mean, The Nightmare to Remember, A Rite of Passage, Wither, Shattered Fortress, The Count of Tuscany. I mean, yeah, the whole freaking album is great. And I know a lot of people choose The Count of Tuscany. Yeah, that song's great. It's my second favorite on the album, by the way. But, my favorite song on the album is The Best of Times. And that is the song I've chosen. And The Best of Times, I mean, to anyone who lost a parent, they can definitely relate to the song. Especially that solo in the end. That solo at the end of the song has got to be like the best solo John Petrucci ever did. They never played this live, and we probably never will, in respect to Mike Portnoy's dad, what this song is about, him losing his dad, and, yeah. It's a sad song, but it's a very good one. And, yeah, the solo might make you shed a few tears. It certainly did. I certainly did shed a few tears when I first heard that solo. It's yeah, very, very good. A dramatic turn of events. The first album to feature the current drummer Mike Mangini, and I know a lot of people have said, no Mike Portnoy, no Drink Gear. Whatever. I still think Mike Mangini is still a great drummer, but Mike Portnoy, yeah, he is definitely the better drummer. But Mike Mangini, he does a great job too. So, and a dramatic turn of events, even that album has some pretty good songs. Yeah, Breaking All Illusions, Outcry, On the Backs of Angels, Build Me Up, Break Me Down. A few examples. And again, Breaking All Illusions is a lot of people's favorite song on this album. But Bridges in the Sky. Breaking All Illusions is great too, but Bridges in the Sky. That song is, in my opinion, better than Breaking All Illusions. Reason. I don't know why, but I always thought Breaking All Illusions was like one of the weaker epics. I still love it, but it's just probably one of my least favorite 10+ minute songs they ever did. I'm sorry, but that's why I think Bridges in the Sky is better. But Breaking All Illusions is still a great song, but I did not choose that. Of course, I chose Bridges in the Sky. It starts with a Mongolian float singing or something like that. Ends with the same thing too. And the lyrics in the song are very, very touching. And not to mention Chancellor Bree's vocals when he sings them. It's also really, really good. His voice, his voice, I agree, is getting weaker. I still think he can still sing. And this song proves it. Yeah, just like Bridges in the Sky. The way he sings that, man. The fabric of reality is tearing apart. I hope you listen to all of the 11 minutes of the song. It's definitely worth it. Alright. The next album, the self-titled album, and this is probably one of the weaker albums, but Illumination Theory. That's the song I've chosen for this album. Illumination Theory. That, however, is a great closer of, kind of an okay album. And the thing is, this is the only 10+ minute song on that album. Every other song is, average length, 3 to 4 to 5, 6, 7 minutes. Not that long. The Illumination Theory, this This song goes for like 22 minutes. It's one of the longest songs, and well, actually it's 19 minutes. But there's a little hidden track at the end. Yeah, the hidden track at the end is also pretty cool, but I still think 19 and a half minutes even without the hidden track is very, it's just as good as Octavillion, my third favorite song by them, and I really love this little, in the middle section where everyone in the band, they just fade away, and all you hear is an orchestra. It's very, very beautiful, and once again, I hope you check it out if you've never heard of it. Great song, great epic. Alright, so the Astonishing, and I know Scott from No Solution really hates this album, but I don't mind it. I put this as my second least favorite album on the ranking video. I don't mind it. I still think it's decent. Just, my only complaint is, there's too many songs, too long. I mean, like 130 minutes and like 34 songs. I don't know what was they were thinking with that one. I mean, and again, this is another concept album. I can't really explain the story because it doesn't make any freaking sense. I mean, from what all I guess is about robots taking over the music industry. I don't get it. I don't get it. And along with an earlier album, Falling to Infinity, this might be the most divisive album. And a lot of people even said that this album is very Disney musical. I mean, I kind of agree with that. It definitely sounds like it came from Disney. I mean, but with that said, there's still, in my opinion, plenty of good songs. But I think it's not my favorite song on the album, but the song I've chosen is A New Beginning. This is probably the only song on the album where Dream Theater sounds like Dream Theater. And it's not even 10 plus minutes long. There's no epic. And ironically, it's the longest album. It's like over 2 hours, 130 minutes. I mean, and it doesn't have any 10 plus epics. I mean, I don't know. But A New Beginning, even though it's not my personal favorite song on the album, it is definitely the song where Dream Theater sounds like Dream Theater. Like everything else, it doesn't really sound like Dream Theater at all. It's just more like a Disney musical. And thankfully, the next album, Distance Over Time, is a very big improvement of that. A lot shorter, a lot, less songs. There's like 9 songs, and it's under an hour. It's not the shortest album. That's the first album. But Barstool Warrior is the song I've chosen for this album. Barstool Warrior. At Wit's End, though. At Wit's End was a close one. I almost picked that song. But Barstool Warrior, considering it's my favorite song on the album. I mean, most of these songs are my favorite songs on those albums. But anyway, Barstool Warrior, the solo, again, just like the best of times, that solo it just touched you in the heart. The song ain't that serious. But Barstool Warrior, like I said, At Wit's End was close. Yeah, that was a close one, but Barstool Warrior, I still think that's the superior song on that album, and the song I think would be perfect to introduce Dream Theater to a new fan. And then finally, from the latest album, A View from the Top of the World, released a couple years back in 2021, and I think it is slightly better than Distance Over Time, but yeah. But the song I've chosen, now, there's only 7 songs. It's still over 70 minutes, but thankfully not as long as, The Astonishing, but you know, View from the Top of the World, it ain't that bad, but it is tiny, you know, slightly better than Distance Over Time. And once again, huge improvement from what was his astonishing. But the song I've chosen is The Alien. I had to remember. The Alien. And there is a 20 plus minute epic. A View from the Top of the World, the title track, the album closer. But the thing is, just like Breaking All Illusions, one of the weaker epics in my opinion. I just don't really understand why people like it a lot. I mean, I still love it, but still. But The Alien, considering it's the first song on the album, and I remember when they announced this album, that was the first song to be released. And this is, you know, just like the majority of Train of Thought, it's very heavy, but not as heavy as, you know, many songs from that album, but it's still pretty heavy. I mean, and for some reason though, I don't know why. I mean, I still think they earned it, but I don't know why this was the first song of theirs to get a Grammy Award. I mean, they could have, I don't know, they could have easily, I mean, they were nominated a few times, but I don't know why, you know, other songs and albums like, you know, Octavarium, how did that not win a Grammy? How, I don't even think it was nominated. And like I said, you know, I think they really did earn it, they really did. They really did deserve that Grammy. I can't understand why they finally got an award for that song. I mean, The Alien, like I said, it is a pretty good song. And it is my favorite song of the album, personally. But why that song and not, you know, other songs or other albums? I mean, just like that one time where Jethro Tull earned a Grammy Award out, and Metallica was also, yeah, you remember that Jethro Tull got an award and Metallica didn't back in 1989? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's it. And like I said, if I remember, I'll put the links to the songs in the description below. And I hope you check those out. Hopefully I will, you know, introduce a lot of people to Dreamtheater. Because like I said, they're very unique. They're very technical. And you can definitely tell the Pink Floyd influence in most of the songs. And well, not just that, Pink Floyd. Rush, Genesis, you know, Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Hear a little bit of King Crimson in there too. You know, just a lot of, they definitely were influenced by a lot of bands, and yeah. And, you know, if I ever do, you know, form my own band, I kind of want to be progressive rock too, you know, progressive rock, progressive metal, you know, I am definitely influenced by Dream Theater. I mean, thank you, Dream Theater. I mean, like I said, I hope you check the songs out, and, sorry for making the video so long. I mean, 38.5 minutes. Sorry, guys. But, just, I love talking about Dream Theater, so can't help it. But anyways, like I said, I hope you check the songs out. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.